Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper Math P3 variant 2 October-November 2020. Let's get started. George, Louis, and Beatrice have a cafe. George records the number of each type of meal sold. He draws a pictogram to show his results. All rows are complete except for salad. 6 salads were sold. Complete the pictogram. For the key, 8 tiny squares represent 8 meals. So to represent 6 salads, we draw 6 tiny squares for the salad category. Write down which type of meal was sold most. First, we need to count the number of meals sold for each category. From this, we see that pasta was sold the most. Find the number of meals sold altogether. When we sum up the number of meals sold for each category, we have 16 plus 20 plus 4 plus 6 plus 14 plus 8. We get 68. The cafe also sells drinks. Johan buys 2 cups of tea, 1 bottle of juice, and 1 bottle of water. Calculate the change he receives from a $10 note. The change he receives is equal to the amount he pays, which is $10, minus the cost of getting 2 cups of tea, which is 2 times $2.20, minus the cost of getting 1 bottle of juice, which is $1.50, minus the cost of getting 1 bottle of water, which is $1.35. This gives us $2.75. These are the opening times of the cafe. Work out the total number of hours the cafe is open in 1 week. The number of hours from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. is 10 hours, and the number of hours from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. is 5 hours 30 minutes. So the total number of hours is equal to the number of hours from Monday to Friday, which is 5 times 10 hours, plus the number of hours on Saturday, which is 5 hours 30 minutes. To convert 30 minutes to hours, we divide 30 by 60. This gives us 55.5 hours. 1 week, the cafe makes a profit of $1,027. George, Louis, and Beatrice share this profit in the ratio. George is to Louis is to Beatrice equals 7:4:2. Calculate the amount they each receive. The amount George receives is equal to the ratio share for George, which is 7, divided by the total ratio of 7 plus 4 plus 2, which is 13, times $1,027. This gives us $553. The amount Louis receives is equal to the ratio share for Louis, which is 4, divided by 13 times $1,027. This gives us $316. The amount Beatrice receives is equal to the ratio share for Beatrice, which is 2, divided by 13 times $1,027. This gives us $158. In 2019, the rent for the cafe was $7,275. In 2020, the rent is $7,566. Calculate the percentage increase in the rent. The percentage increase in the rent is equal to the increase, which is $7,566 minus $7,275 divided by the initial cost of rent, which was $7,275 times 100%. This gives us 4%. George drives 315 kilometers from the cafe to the airport. The journey takes 3 hours 30 minutes. Calculate his average speed. We can get his average speed using this formula. The distance d he covers is 315 kilometers and the time duration is 3 hours 30 minutes. To convert 30 minutes to hours, we divide 30 by 60. When we type this into the calculator, we get 90 kilometers per hour. Measure the length of this line in millimeters. When we measure the length of the line, we get 48 millimeters. Measure the size of angle X. Using a protractor, it's easier to measure this angle, which gives us 137 degrees. So to get X, we simply subtract 137 degrees from 360 degrees, which gives us 223 degrees. Write down the mathematical name of this type of angle. Since x is greater than 180 degrees and less than 360 degrees, then it is a reflex angle. ABC is a straight line and BCD is an isosceles triangle. Find the value of x. Base angles in an isosceles triangle are equal, and angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So 180 degrees minus 26 degrees divided by 2 gives us 77 degrees. Angles on a straight line add up to 180. So we have x plus 77 equals 180. When we subtract 77 from both sides, we get x equals 103. Work out the size of one interior angle of a regular 16-sided polygon. Here is the formula for the size of an interior angle of a regular polygon. In this case, n is 16. When we type this into the calculator, we get 157.5 degrees. Complete this statement. X, Y, and Z are points on the circumference of the circle center O. Give a reason why angle XYZ is 90 degrees. This is because an angle formed in a semicircle is 90 degrees. A circle has diameter 6 centimeters. Calculate the area of the circle. Give the units of your answer. Here is the formula for the area of a circle. The radius r of the circle is 6 centimeters divided by 2. When we type this into the calculator, we get 28.3 centimeters squared, rounded to 3 significant figures. Write down the mathematical name for this quadrilateral. The quadrilateral has exactly one pair of parallel sides, so it's a trapezium. Write down the mathematical name for this solid. The given solid is a cylinder. The area of a square is 64 centimeters squared. Work out the length of one side of the square. Here is the formula for the area of a square. When we make the length L the subject, this is what we get. We've been given the area to be 64 centimeters squared. This gives us 8 centimeters. The length L of a rectangle is 3 centimeters longer than the width W. The perimeter of the rectangle is 26 centimeters. Calculate the length L and the width W. Here is the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. We are told the length L is W plus 3, and we've been given the perimeter to be 26. When we expand the brackets, 2 times W is 2W, 2 times 3 is 6. When we group like terms, we get 4W equals 20. And when we divide both sides by 4, we get W equals 5. If W is 5, then L is 5 plus 3, which is 8. A cuboid measures 6 centimeters by 3 centimeters by 1 centimeter. On the 1 centimeter square grid, draw an accurate net of this cuboid. One face has been drawn for you. A cuboid has 6 faces. In this case, 2 of the faces would have the dimensions 6 centimeters by 3 centimeters. Another 2 of the faces would have the dimensions 6 centimeters by 1 centimeter. And the remaining 2 faces would have the dimensions 3 centimeters by 1 centimeter. We can start by drawing the base of the cuboid, which has dimensions 6 centimeters by 1 centimeter. The base would be connected directly to the other 4 side faces. At the top and bottom, it will be connected to the side faces with dimensions 6 centimeters by 3 centimeters. One of these faces has already been drawn for us. On the sides, it will be connected to the side faces with dimensions 3 centimeters by 1 centimeter. The top of the cuboid with dimensions 6 centimeters by 1 centimeter can be connected to any of these sides. In this case, we have enough space to connect it at the bottom. Calculate the surface area of the cuboid. Here is the formula for the surface area of a cuboid. The length L is 6 centimeters, the width W is 3 centimeters, and the height H is 1 centimeter. When we type this into the calculator, we get 54 centimeters squared. Sammy travels to work by bus. The bus leaves the bus station at 7:35. It takes Sammy 23 minutes to walk from his house to the bus station. Work out the latest time Sammy can leave his house. To get the latest time he can leave the house, we subtract 23 minutes from 7:35. Under the minute column, 35 minus 23 is 12. And under the hour column, 7 minus 0 is 7. So we have 7:12. The bus journey takes 41 minutes. Work out the arrival time of the bus. To get the arrival time of the bus, we add 41 minutes to its departure time, which is 7:35. Under the minute column, 35 plus 41 is 76. 60 minutes is 1 hour, so we add 1 to the hour column and leave the remaining 16 minutes under the minute column. Under the hour column, 1 plus 7 is 8, so we have 8:16. The scale drawing shows the positions of two towns, A and B. The scale is 1 centimeter, represents 10 kilometers. Work out the actual distance between town A and town B. On the scale drawing, when we measure the distance between A and B, we get 9.5 centimeters. From here, we use the scale conversion to get the actual distance, which is what we are calling x. When we cross multiply and make x the subject, this is what we get, which is equal to 95 kilometers. Town C is 85 kilometers from town A on a bearing of 100 degrees. On the scale drawing, mark the position of town C. Using the scale conversion, 85 kilometers maps to 8.5 centimeters on the scale drawing. First, we use the protractor to measure an angle of 100 degrees in the clockwise direction from the north of town A. Then we mark the position of town C along this bearing such that it is 8.5 centimeters from A. Here are the weekly wages in dollars of the 10 workers in an office. Find the median. First, we need to arrange the wages in ascending order. There are 10 values in total, so to get the position of the median, we use the formula half n plus 1, where n is 10. This gives us 5.5. This means the median is between the numbers in the 5th and 6th positions, which are 200 and 238. So the median is $200 plus $238 divided by 2, which is equal to $219. Calculate the mean. The mean is equal to the total sum of all the wages, which is 280 plus 200 plus 175 plus 1180 plus 95 plus 182 plus 238 plus 256 plus 194 plus $250 divided by 10. When we type this into the calculator, we get $305. For this office, explain why the mean is not a suitable average. This is because there is an extreme value that makes the mean higher. The stem and leaf diagram shows the ages of the workers in a factory. Write down the mode. For the key, 2/3 represents 23. The mode is the number that appears the most, and that is 56. Work out the range. The range is equal to the highest number, which is 68, minus the lowest number, which is 16. 68 minus 16 gives us 52. Write 60,025 in words. Here is the number written in words. Write 849.481 correct to one decimal place. The first number after the decimal point is 4. The number after 4, which is 8, is greater than 5. So we add 1 to 4, giving us 5. The numbers after 4 become 0. Since these zeros come after the decimal point, they are insignificant. So we have 849.5 rounded to one decimal place. Write down all the factors of 21. To get the factors of 21, we first need to list the numbers that multiply to give us 21. From this, we see that the factors of 21 are 1, 3, 7, and 21. Write down a prime number between 40 and 50. One of the prime numbers in this range is 41. Write 2/5 as a decimal. When we type 2/5 into the calculator, we get its decimal form to be 0.4. Find the value of cube root of 2744. When we type this into the calculator, we get 14. Find the value of 7 raised to the power 0. Any number raised to the power 0 is 1. So 7 raised to the power 0 is 1. Gino invests $6,000 for 5 years at a rate of 1.2% per year compound interest. Calculate the value of his investment at the end of the 5 years. Give your answer correct to the nearest dollar. In this case, we need to apply the compound interest formula. Big A represents the final value of his investment, which is what we are finding. Small a represents the amount he invested, which is $6,000. R is the rate, and that is 1.2. T is the time duration in years, which is 5. When we type this into the calculator, this is what we get, which is approximately $6,369 rounded to the nearest dollar. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. When we look at triangle A and its image triangle B, we can tell straight away that this is a 180-degree rotation. So now we need to identify the center of rotation. For a 180-degree rotation, the way to determine the center of rotation is this. We draw a line to connect at least two corresponding points on both triangles A and B. The intersection point of the lines is the center of rotation. In this case, the point is the origin. And so the full description for the transformation is rotation 180 degrees about the origin. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle C. When we look at triangle A and its image triangle C, we see that triangle C is a mirror image of triangle A in the line x equals 0 or the y-axis. And so the full description for the transformation would be reflection in the line x equals 0 or reflection in the y-axis. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle D. When we look at triangle A and its image triangle D, we can tell straight away that this is a translation because both triangles have the same size and orientation. The only difference is that they are located on different parts of the grid. So now we need to find the translation vector. From the illustration, we see that this vector is -1, 7. And so the full description for the transformation would be translation by the vector -1, 7. On the grid, enlarge triangle A by scale factor 0.5, center 40. First, we need to mark the center of enlargement, which is 40. Then we need to move each vertex on triangle A such that we are able to reproduce the enlarged image of the triangle. Let's pick point A. To move from the center of enlargement to point A, we move 6 units to the left and 2 units downwards. The scale factor is positive 0.5, and so to pin the new position of point A, we move half the distance we moved initially and in the same direction. This means we are now going to move 3 units to the left and 1 unit downward. After repeating the same process for all the vertices on triangle A, we are able to map out the enlarged image of triangle A. Lyndon picks a letter at random from this word. Explain why the probability that he picks a letter M is not 1 over 10. This is because there are 2 M's and 12 letters. Tickets for athletics or swimming or hockey or diving are placed in a box. A ticket is picked at random from the box. Complete the table. The sum of all the probabilities must be equal to 1. So to get the probability of picking a swimming ticket, we subtract the sum of 0.12, 0.09, and 0.4 from 1. This gives us 0.39. Complete the Venn diagram. We are told 10 students like football but not cricket, so we put 10 in this region. We are also told 24 students like football. This means 10 plus the number in this region should give us 24. So to get this number, we subtract 10 from 24, which gives us 14. We've also been told 19 students like cricket. This means 14 plus the number in this region should give us 19. So to get the number in this region, we subtract 14 from 19, which gives us 5. We are told there are 40 students in total. 10 plus 14 plus 5 gives us 29. So to get the number of students who do not like football and do not like cricket, we subtract 29 from 40, which gives us 11. Write down the number of elements in set A. The number of elements in set A is 9 in total. List the elements of set B. The elements of set B are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18. One of these 19 numbers is picked at random. Work out the probability that this number is not in set A and not in set B. This probability is equal to the number of elements that are not in set A and not in set B, which is 7, divided by the total number of elements, which is 19. Work out the probability that this number is in A union B. This probability is equal to the number of elements in A union B, which is 12, divided by the total number of elements, which is 19. Complete the statement. A intersection B is equal to x such that x is a multiple of 6. Simplify. 4x plus 3y plus 2x minus 8y. When we group like terms, 4x plus 2x is 6x. 3y minus 8y is minus 5y. A pen costs 60 cents and a ruler costs 29 cents. Write down an expression for the total cost in cents of X pens and Y rulers. The total cost is equal to the cost of getting X pens, which is 60X, plus the cost of getting the Y rulers, which is 29Y. Solve. 5 times 2x plus 4 equals 85. When we expand the brackets, 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times 4 is 20. When we subtract 20 from both sides, we get 10x equals 65. And when we divide both sides by 10, we get x equals 6.5. Work out the value of m. Since these two have the same base and they are multiplying, we can rewrite it as 2 raised to the power 8 plus m. Since the bases are equal on both sides of the equation, then their powers must also be equal. So 8 plus m equals 6. When we subtract 8 from both sides, we get m equals negative 2. Work out the value of n. Since these two have the same base and they are dividing, we can rewrite it as 5 raised to the power n minus 4. Since the bases are equal on both sides of the equation, then their powers must also be equal. So n minus 4 equals 6. When we add 4 to both sides, we get n equals 10. A plant costs $P and a bush costs $B. Write down a pair of simultaneous equations and solve them to find the value of P and the value of B. You must show all your working. We are told Anna buys 2 plants and 4 bushes for $42. This means 2P plus 4B equals 42. Let's call this equation 1. And we are also told Paula buys 7 plants and 9 bushes for $107. This means 7p plus 9b equals 107. Let's call this equation 2. We will be using the elimination method to solve the equations. We want to start by eliminating p. So we multiply equation 1 by 7. This gives us 14p plus 28b equals 294, which we've labeled as equation 3. Then we multiply equation 2 by 2. This gives us 14p plus 18b equals 214, which we've labeled as equation 4. To eliminate p, we subtract equation 4 from equation 3. This gives us 10b equals 80. When we divide both sides by 10, we get b equals 8. We can now plug in the value of b into any of the equations to get p. If we pick equation 1, we have 2p plus 4 times 8 equals 42. 4 times 8 is 32. When we subtract 32 from both sides, we get 2p equals 10. And when we divide both sides by 2, we get p equals 5. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared minus 4x minus 3. When we plug in x equals negative 2 into the equation, we get y equals 9. For x equals 2, we get y equals negative 7. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals x squared minus 4x minus 3. For x is greater than and equal to negative 2 and less than and equal to 5. On the grid, we plot all the points in the table and connect the points with a smooth line. Use your graph to solve the equation x squared minus 4x minus 3 equals 0. In other words, we are asked to find the x values of the intersection points between the graph of y equals x squared minus 4x minus 3 and the line y equals 0, which is the x-axis. On the grid, we see that the x values of these points are negative 0.6 and 4.6. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.